States, I don't know if I've ever been to a city that's as vastly run down, abandoned, and out of control as Oakland, California. It's a very ugly, rough, littered, dangerous place where the laws aren't enforced and the crime is staggering. I drove around Oakland for an entire day in late October of 2021 to see what it was like these days, and I don't recall seeing any part of the city that was welcoming, safe, or clean. It was really quite an experience. Oakland's had trouble for decades now. In the 1990s, it was home to an explosion of gangs and drug use, though a lot of the gang activity here isn't nearly as bad as it was 30 years ago. Then, following the Bay Area tech boom, came a spike in the cost of living, which priced out the lower class. Now the middle class is priced out too, because over the last 5 years, the cost to rent or own a home is pushing even more people out onto the streets. Oakland is drug-filled. It's a graffiti-covered shell of its former self, where you can't let your guard down for a minute or risk being robbed, assaulted, or shot at least in the greater downtown area. Here's a map of the area I covered in my car on this day. Oakland can be broken down into mini regions, but we'll keep it simple and split it into two, West and East Oakland. That's usually how it's divided anyways. Here in West Oakland, you have the greater downtown area. Downtown itself doesn't look too bad at all. It's pretty dangerous, but just a few blocks west of downtown and you find all sorts of abandoned warehouses and people lining the streets in their RVs and cars, clearly victims of homelessness. This is the side of town where most of the homeless camps are located. Some look like something you'd see in Haiti. Lean-to shacks made of recovered junk that serve as four walls and a roof, but that's just about it. Other areas just outside of downtown are home to hundreds of people camped out in makeshift shanties among piles of trash with rats. Parts of West Oakland don't even look like the United States. Any between the litter and the gutted buildings or neighborhoods. Can you imagine being surrounded by this? I mean, paying $3,000 a month for a crummy apartment to live here? It's an expensive ghetto, and that's not a good combination, people.
That's fucking stupid.
I walked around downtown and within 30 seconds saw a mentally ill woman hanging on the wiper blades of a city bus, clearly out of her mind. This was just a block from the hotel I was staying in, and it's like that all over the place. I can only imagine the things that a city bus driver in Oakland, California has to deal with on an hourly basis. Just down the block, I saw a woman get punched in the face by a man. He just socked her in the head right in the middle of the street during an argument, and everybody that saw it just shrugged it off. It's Oakland. Never a dull moment, I guess. There's no law and order in Oakland anymore. The police are underfunded or defunded. They're just outmanned. Their morale is low, and they've been asked to direct their efforts only to the most dire needs. If somebody isn't bleeding, it might take a long time for help to arrive. People run lights and speed around town, and clearly littering and vandalism isn't going to get you in trouble here anymore. Here in East Oakland is where it's really dangerous, like even more dangerous than West Oakland. West Oakland is mostly just ugly and run down where all the homeless people are, but East Oakland is where a lot of the poor people live, and this is where a lot of the gangs are. Shootings happen down here just about every day, sometimes many times a day. It's as gritty and grimy as the West Side, just on a far larger scale. To me, it seemed like East Oakland's been handed over to the dregs of society to do with as they wish. And this is what they've done. Oakland's hell on earth. It's lawless, it's run down, it's ugly, it's dangerous, it's woke. No wonder the Warriors and Raiders left. The A's are next. They're going to move to Vegas soon. Look at the place. Would you want to play here? Oakland's problems don't just go block after block. It's mile after mile. And very few people I talk to who live here think there's a chance it can be saved. I think Oakland, California is beyond repair. Forever.